Did we have Harold and did we lose Harold?
So
Mario?
it's very late at night for us guys. The older
No, but I didn't see Harold in the turba.
he was
Mario.
there at the beginning.
Harold.
No, he was not. He was not.
No,
Okay.
no,
Genauer can't learn because he's novel.
no.
He asked,
Kenny, when did you come back from New York, Kenny? Also, when did you come back?
He's new.
Kenny. He's on mute.
Sunday midday.
Oh, so okay. I'm half asleep. I'm on New York time.
okay,
It's
so
late.
we're on Lamed Aleph. Tanya Rabbi Yehuda Omer Mishum Rabbi Kiva. Barishon Ma Yoimrim. What? Because we talked about the Levium made a mistake with the shear. So what shear did the Levium sing? So on Sunday they sang Lashem Aretzum Loa. Al Shem Shekana V'Hikna V'Shoy B'Olama, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu acquired and rules over his universe. Basheni Mayoimim Gadol Hashem Umulal Me'od. Great is Hashem. Al Shem Shechilek Ma'asav U'Malach Alein. On the first day of creation, there was only one, there was a unity, just Hashem. The second day, he divided the universe. He made Mayim Elyonim, Mayim Atachtoinim, whatever that means, and he ruled over it. Bashlishi Ayoimim Elokim Nitzav Badas Kel. Al Shem Shegila Eretz Bechachmaso. The wisdom on his earth, Veichin Tevel Adaso, and created a place for his congregation that human beings and other creatures can live there. That he created the sun, the moon. The Osidli Param of Dayan. People who worship the Avodah Zarah worship the sun and the moon. And Hashem is going to take revenge against those people who worship them. It's an Hashem is great. Oz Al Shem Shabara Oifas V'Dagnu Shabech L'Shmo, because he created birds and fish who praise Hashem. Bashishi Ayoimrim Hashem Molach Geus Lavesh. Hashem is a king. Al Shem Shagomer Malachto U'Molach Alei, and he finished his creation and ruled over it. Bashvi Ayoimrim Mizmor Shilim HaShabbos L'Yom Shekulo Shabbos. Amrav Nechemim Maru Chachamim L'Chalek Ben Aprokim Alolu. Now, Yom Shekulo Shabbos refers to the future. All the other six refer to Brias Olam. So why was there the first six like that? And so based on that shot, the Gemara wants a different shot. Rishon Shekana V'Hikna V'Shalei B'Olama. Rishon is he acquired his world. Basheni Shechilek Masav Malach Alem. He divided and ruled over it. He created the sun, the moon, and in the future he's going to punish the people who worship them. So it's because he rested. It's not therefore all seven are referencing the same period of time. And this is all in Machlokas with Rav Katina. Rav Katina, Shisa Alfei Shani Hava Alma V'Chad Charuf. The world is going to exist for 6,000 years, and then it'll be destroyed for 1,000 years. Shenemar, V'Nizkav Hashem Levado Bayomahu. At some point, Hashem will be alone. Amar Abaya Trei Charuf, he says no, 2,000 years will be destroyed. Shenema Yechayenu Miyamim, which is plural. Two in each day is like 1,000 years. B'musvei de Shabbos Me'ayu Oimrim. What did they say Musaf on Shabbos? Amar Vanam Barav Haziv Loch. The six prokim in Azinu. Hazinu is Hey, and then Zion is Zechor Yemos Olam. The Yud is Yarkivel B'Mosei Aretz. Each pasuk starts with those words. Haravi is Vayar Hashem Vayinatz. That's Haziv Lach. One Rav Chanan Barav Amarab. Kider Shechalukin Kan Chalukin Bebeis Knesses. We make Rishon, Sheni, Shlishi, Revi, Chamishi, Shishi on Parshas Hazinu with the same divisions. B'minchasa de Shabbos Mayu Oimrim. What did the Levium sing Mincha and Shabbos? Amrav Yechlan Oz Yashir, Umicha Mocha, which is by Shira Sayam, V'Oz Yashir. The Shira that's on the Be'er in Parshas Chukas. Iboilu, Ani Kulu B'Chad Shabbat Amilu. Did they say all three of these in one Shabbos? Oidilma Kol Shabbat V'Shabbat Amichad. Maybe they had a rotation over 3 Shabbos and they would say one each. Torshma, the Tanya Amrav Yosi Acha Rishon Mersach Ashniach Chazer Shtayim. Until one guy finished one, the other guy already did double. Shma Mina Kol Shabbat V'Shabbat Amichad means that means each Shabbos they only said one version. The Shechina, when it went into Galus, it didn't go straight into Galus. It went 10 levels. Mikroi. We learn it from Pasuk. Kenegdan Galsa Sanhedrin. Later on, when the Sanhedrin went into exile, it followed the same pattern. That is Migemora, not from Psukim, but that's from tradition. Esr Masos Nasa Shechina Mikroi. It went from the kaporis lekruv. The kaporis is the covering of the aron. The kruv is one of the baby images that were on top of the kruv. And mikruv lekruv, it went from one kruv to the other. Mikruv lemiftan. The miftan is like the floor of the Beis Hamikdash. We miftan lechotzer to the courtyard. Mechotzer lemizbech, mizbech legag. From the Mizbech to the Gag, to the roof, Migag Lachoima to the wall, Mechoma Le'ir to the city, Ume'ir Lahar, Ume'har LaMidbar. Ume'midbar also V'yashva Mkoima. From the desert, the Shechina went back to its place. Shenemar, Elech Ashuva El Mokomi. Now, where do we see these psukim? Mikaporos Lekruv, Mikruv, Lekruv, Mikruv, Lemiftan, Dechsiv. V'noadati Lechasham, the Dibarti Itcha Me'ala Kaporos. So first he spoke from the Kaporos. Uksiv Vayar Kaval Kruv Vaya Oth. Then he flew to the kruv. It went to the miftan. The chotzer filled with the kvod Hashem. I saw Hashem. He was standing on the mizbech. It's good to sit on the corner of the roof. Migag lechoyma, d'chsiv v'nei Hashem nitzav al chomas anach. Hashem was sitting on chomas anach. Michomer le'ir d'chsiv kol Hashem le'ir yikra. U'me'ir lahar d'chsiv vayal kvod Hashem me'al toch ha'ir. Vayamor lahar Hashem mikedem le'ir. He went to the mountain that was east of the city. U'mehar le'midbar d'chsiv tov sheves be'eretz midbar. U'mimidbar also v'yashal v'mkoyma. From the midbar, from the desert, went up to where the Shechina is. D'chsiv elecha shuva el mokomi. The Shechina hung out in the desert, waiting. That maybe Klal Yisrael would do tshuva. He didn't do tshuva. He said, you know what? They should go to the dogs. He says, you know what? They should go and be destroyed. That's an iyuv. Ukeneged on Galsa Sanhedrin, in a similar vein, when the Sanhedrin went into exile, it went in 10 stages. And this is Gemara. It's a tradition. Milishka sagazis lechanut. Chanut is like the market. Umechanut Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim Yavne. Umeusha liyavna, in from Yusha in the Rabban Gamliel, they went back afterwards to Yavna. In the time of Rabbi Shimon, the son of Rabban Gamliel. Umeyavna leusha, again, they went from Yavna to Usha. Umeusha leshafram. Umeshafram lebeis sha'arim. Umebeis sha'arim letzipoiri, which is in the Galil. Umetzipoiri letveria. The Tveria muka mikulon. Tveria was the lowest place. This was in the time of Rebbe.
Yeah.
Yudan Nasi. Shenemar v'shafalta me'eretz tedaberi. Rabbi Eliezer Omer Sheish Galus. There were 6 Galuses. Shenemar ki heishach yoshvei marom kirya nizgva yeshpilana yeshpilad eretz yagiyen ad Ofar. Rav Yechon Misham Atidin Ligoel. From Tveria, the Gula will come. Shenemar hisnari me'afar kumi shvi. From the lowest place, and since the lowest place is Tveria, I guess when you come from places like Tzfat and Sipor, which are in the mountains, you go down to Tveria. Tveria is probably sea level because the Kinneret is there, a relative sea level. Mishnah. Rav Yoshua ben Korcha. We've been talking about Takonis of Rav ben Zakkai. Od zo siski Rav ben Zakkai shafil rosh beisin b'chol makom shelo yuedim holchim el b'mkom avad. That means if the Sanhedrin was in a certain place, we want the Edom to go where the Sanhedrin is, even if the Rosh Beis Din is someplace else. The Edom, the Ikra Chodesh will be where the Sanhedrin is. Hayi Itza, there was a woman that Zumna Ladina Kameda Meimer ben Ardoi. She was invited to Bezdin. Ameimer was the Rosh Bezdin. Ozal Ameimer Lamachuza. Amemar left town for a short time. V'lo azla basrei, and the woman didn't follow him to go adjudicate by him, right? She wanted to do it in the Bezdin. And we just learned the Mishnah, you should go where the Bezdin is. Because of Psichilot, but Amemar wrote a excommunication on her. Amarle Ravashi la Amemar. Why did you do it? Doesn't make a difference where the Rosh Bezdin is. People have to go to the Bezdin. That's for Edus HaChodesh. But by other dinim, they have to follow the Rosh Bezdin. There was a reason why the Edim came. It says, Machshin Lasid Lovo. Aval Hocha Eved Lovo Lishmalve. A person that calls you to din, and if you borrowed money, you are subservient to that person, and if you're called to din, you have to go to wherever the Rosh Bezdin is. Kohanim cannot go up with their shoes to duchen. These are one of the 9 takonos that Rav ben Zakkai was masakin. Shista Hai Pirka. There were 6 that we already talked about in this parak. Blowing shofar on Shabbos in Yavna. Taking the lulav all 7 days. The 16th day of Omer is Osir. The fact that we are Makabel Eidei HaChodesh the whole day after the Churban. And Eidim have to go to the Mokum Avad. And there's din of Birchas Kohanim. V'chad de Pirka Kama. One was in the beginning parak, where we talked about that when the Eidim come, they're allowed to be Mechal Shabbos only for 2 months, Tishrei and Nisan. So the Chada, the Idich, the other one, the Tanya Gershon is Garbis Manazeh. If you have a non-Jew who converts, Tzarach Shiafrish Rova Lakino. In the time of the Beis HaMikdash, they had to bring korbanos. So he has to set aside a certain amount of money that when the Mashiach comes, he'll use that money and he'll bring korbanos. Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai already got rid of that din. Because if you have to separate money, you're going to use that money and you're going to be chay. The idich, what's the other takana? The 9th. Plukted Rav Papa Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak. Rav Papa Amar Kerem Avoy, right? That if you plant fruit trees, the first 3 years is Orla. The 4th year is called Kerem Avoy. Means you're not allowed, you have to take it up to Yerushalayim and eat it there. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Amar Loshon Shel Zahuris. It had to do with the red string that they tied to the Soyer Lazazel, which turned white on Yom Kippur. Rav Papa Amar Kerem Avoy, decided Kerem Avoy Haya Oile Yerushalayim Alach Yom L'Chotzad. Places that you could get to Yerushalayim in one day. So the Torah says you have to bring them up to Yerushalayim. You shouldn't redeem them. You have to bring them up physically. The Zui Tchuma, and what's the Tchum? Ayelet minat Tzafon, Eilat minat Tzafon, Akrabat minat Darom, Lod minat Mayr, V'yardem minat Mizrach. What was the purpose for this takana that even though you're allowed to be poda like Meister Sheni, you can transfer the kedusha to money and bring the money up? Here they wanted you to bring the fruits. Why? They wanted to make sure that all the markets of Yerushalayim would have fruit. Rabbi Eliezer had some Kerem Ravai. Rabbi Eliezer didn't want to bother to bring it up, so he wanted Lafkir Laniyim. He wanted to be Mafkir Laniyim. Armelo Talmid of Rabbi Kvar Nimnu Chavrech Alav Tiru. That your Chaver, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, Man Chavrech Rabbi ben Zakkai, was already abolished this takana. After the Churban, right? There's no purpose of decorating the markets with fruit. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Amar Lashon Shel Zahuris. The takana of Yochanan ben Zakkai has to do with the red string that was associated with the Soyer Lazazel, the Tanya. They used to tie the red string on the opening of the ulam on the outside in the base of Mikdash. People would look at it. Hilbin, if it turned white after they threw the goat off the cliff, they were happy. Lo Hilbin ayuat saving. If it stayed red, they were upset. They started tying the string only on the inside. People would sneak and look. And the Hilbin ayuat speichen, lo Hilbin ayuat saving, they would be sad. They made a takana that half of the string was tied on the rock where they pushed the goat off, and the other half between the horns of the goat itself. And this was the takana that Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai changed. So Rav Nachman is like my time along with Rav Papa. Why did Rav Nachman not say like Rav Papa? Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai, Rav Yochanan was not the Chaver of Rav Eliezer. He was Rabbo Have. It was the Rabbi of Rav Eliezer. The Idich Kevin Tamidim Avulav or Chol Memer Leila Rabbi Rabcha. They were Talmidim. It's not polite to call your Rebbe Rabcha. Not sure why not. Oh, the Talmidim is the one who told them, so they wouldn't say Rabcha to their Rebbe. It's insulting because he's their Rebbe. Now Rav Papa, my time along with Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak, Armelacha, Isaac the Rabbi Yochanan, Bimei Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, may have a lashon shel zahuris. They're going to argue Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai didn't live when they did the Soyer Lazazel, Batanya. Kol shnoiso shel Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai may have esrim shana. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai lived 120 years. For 40 years, he was a businessman, became wealthy, so he could learn the rest of his life. He learned for 40 years. And he taught for 40 years. 40 years before the Churban, the Lashon, the red string stopped turning white altogether. Elamad, it stayed red. Utnan Mishacharva Bayis, he's Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai. So we know Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai was alive, Mishacharva Bayis, and he was active. At that time, when he was active, there was no Lashon Zur, it's turning white. So it had stayed red for 40 years prior. So how can you tell me this is a takon of Rav Yochanan Zakkai? The Idich, Oisam Arboim Shana Delomad. Those 40 years before he taught, Talmud Yoshev Rabbi Havda. He was a Talmud in front of his rebellion. But Omer Milsav is Taber Talmud. They liked what he said. They agreed with him. Ukavei Rabbi Bishmei. And his Rebbe made halacha in the name of Rav Ben Zakkai, even though he was just a Talmud then. That's how the Gemara concludes. Okay. So tomorrow, regular.